Ariel Helwani in Detroit for UFC 218 alongside Michelle Waterson, who meets Tisha Torres this Saturday live on pay-per-view. Michelle, it's great to see you again. Welcome back. It's been a while. Last time we saw you was in April. Why did you take such a long break? I mean, I know for you, you've had some long breaks in your career, but you started to get a little more consistent. This one, no injuries right after that fight. So why the break?
It just happened that way.
Okay.
There were a string of things that I was doing outside of fighting, and I wanted to make sure that I had a good camps to train. I mean, I also felt that after my loss that it was important for me to kind of just get back to my roots and just train, enjoy training, enjoy being a martial artist, and remind myself of why I do it all to begin with, which is to get better every day. And that's what I've done. And every time I go into the gym now, I go because I'm enjoying it, I'm enjoying learning, I'm getting better, and it's not stressful for me.
One of the interesting things about your story this year is at the beginning of the year, you were coming off that win over Paige in the main event, and they were really pushing you. I remember they brought you out to Brooklyn, and you had your own media day. And then you get that fight on Fox, and of course it doesn't go your way, and you're still getting pushed. You're on the MTV show and things like that. How would you describe, though, this year for you? Because it feels like it's been a bit of a roller coaster.
Yeah, a roller coaster is a good way to explain it. But again, like I said, being comfortable with the change, being comfortable, it's like the seasons, it can't always be summer.
Right.
It has to go summer, fall, winter, spring, and that's the cycle of life, and you have to be comfortable with that. And it's actually made me a better fighter, made me a better person, understanding the ups and the downs, the highs and the lows of life. It is what it is, and you have to learn how to deal with the failures and learn how to get better from them.
You were very close to getting a title shot, it seemed. Rose wins, gets the title shot, wins the belt. What was your reaction when you were watching that?
Oh, shock. I mean,
Okay.
I wasn't
Like
everybody.
everyone else.
I mean, not shocking in the sense that we didn't think Rose could do it, but just in the fashion that it was done. Very happy for Rose. And I'm hearing that they're going to have a rematch, which I think is acceptable because Joanna had been such a dominant champion for so long. The rematch, I do think, is something that they should do. And it's going to be entertaining to watch. Every time they fight, every time somebody fights that I'm going to fight, it's better for me because then I can watch what they're doing and how they're improving and getting better. So I'm looking forward to seeing it.
So you don't want a title shot if you beat Tisha Torres? You don't expect one?
I want to climb the ladder.
Okay.
I'm not in any rush in forcing things the way they shouldn't be forced.
Okay. Mentally, the biggest lesson you learned from the Rose fight, what was it?
The biggest lesson I learned, I believe, is to not hesitate. Fighting Rose, I took a huge step up in competition. I know that that's where I belong, and I learned that in that tier of competition, it's not necessarily the person who is a better fighter, but more so the person who makes the first mistake. And I learned that the hard way.
You're also currently on the MTV Challenge show. How about that? There's a lot of people who love that show. A guy who works with me, New York Rick, he's like the biggest fan. So when he found out that you were a part of the show, an MMA fighter on that show, he's freaking out, watching it every week. I'm not an avid watcher. I loved The Real World back in the day, so maybe I need to get into it now that you're a part of it. And I know you can't say too much because it's currently ongoing and it's already taped. What was the experience like being around those crazy cast of characters?
Oh, so much fun. Those guys they're characters, like you said, and it was again another learning experience for me. Anytime that you're put in a situation where you don't know the people, you're uncomfortable. That's what reality TV is, right? They want to make you uncomfortable to see if they can push your buttons and make you explode. So actually, it was really good for my mental strength, I would say, for the fight game because fighting, 80% of it is about that the mental warfare, and that's all it is on the challenge. Obviously you're doing physical challenges, but there's an element of this social warfare where you have to configure your way to the top at any means possible, and you just have to watch the show to see if I was able to do that.
Were you away from your daughter and husband for how long?
Yes, that was probably the hardest part.
Yeah.
I've never been away from Ray or my husband for longer than a couple of days.
Yeah.
And I was gone for 5 weeks.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
That's brutal.
It was hard.
Yeah.
Only thing saving us from it being that hard is the fact that we still had access to, our phones and stuff like that, so
okay.
we could call home and
thank God.
FaceTime and stuff like that.
Not as bad as the Ultimate Fighter.
Not as bad as Ultimate.
Inhumane what they do to those people. They can't even use a phone.
It's what they want. They
Well, I
want
don't-
you to break.
Oh, they want you to break. Okay, I thought you meant it's what the fighters want.
No.
Yes.
It's what the TV
Sure,
wants.
sure,
It's what
sure.
the producers want.
Horrible. Just horrible. So you got to call like off camera.
Every day.
Okay.
Every day. I mean, we had long shooting hours, but when I could get away, I could call.
Okay. Last thing, does Michelle Waterson have something to prove on Saturday?
I don't have anything to prove. I know I belong here, and I'm just gonna go out there and be in the moment and enjoy myself.
Looking forward to it. Great to see you again. Best of luck on Saturday.
Thank you.